Hey there, free spirit beaters. This is Kristen Fagan here with Softlex Company for a new episode of Free Spirit Beading. Today we're going to be... Hi Pamela, hi Lydia. Today we're going to be playing with the new Unicorn Sparkles bead mix and the Unicorn Sparkles bead strand and the Unicorn Sparkles trios. Yeah, and our extreme, sterling silver wire. Hi, yeah, we're here. We're not on Facebook right now. We are here live on YouTube. Hi, Rhonda. So Softlex Company is actually closed for Labor Day today. We're celebrating Labor Day here in the United States. So, oh, wonderful. Lydia got her errands done. Hi, Sheesh. So Softlex Company is actually technically closed today. The office is not open. However, I didn't pay attention to the calendar when I scheduled my video. And since I've been talking about it and I had it listed everywhere that I would be live, I'm here. So I'm curious to see if we get a few new faces because it is a holiday today, and so a few of you might have off that are normally at work. Good to see everyone. So glad. I know I realized it on, I think on Thursday or Friday. I said, oh no, I have myself scheduled for a Monday video and we're not open. But since, like I said, since I had posted it everywhere and talked about it and said I would be here last week, so here I am. And I'm excited to play with all of the pretty sparkly, silver, purpley fun that is in all the Unicorn Sparkles. Robin says share to Facebook so people can click the link. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I don't have any helpers today. Usually I have a Softlex Company helper. Damien's usually here to help with links and sharing. But since I'm on my own, I just figured we'll go for it. So thank you so much for sharing it and helping out to get the word out that I am here live. So first, let's talk a little bit about our current sale. I am dressed to match. I don't have a lot of purple. This is like my only purple shirt, I think. So, so yeah, I dressed to match. And I'm wearing my earrings, which were very purpley too, from the Tucson Sunset bead mix. We still have a few of those left at softlexcompany.com. They were a really pretty mix of coppers and reds and purple, citrine, those kind of colors. So if you like that, you can still grab that bead mix. So right now we have our deal online. Today is September 2nd, and this is good until tomorrow night at midnight, September 3rd, 2019. We have spend $55, get free beads. So you can add anything to your cart that you need, want, desire. Just get your order up to $55, and then you will get this strand, this beautiful strand of Unicorn Sparkle bead strand for free. And it'll automatically get added to your cart. You don't have to do anything. You could add it to your cart while you're shopping. You could buy more than one. So if you want one and you want one free, you get two of them, then you just have more beads. So fun. Susie's asking, did I get hit with a storm last night? We drove through a little bit of it. We actually were out in the West Valley visiting my mother-in-law, and we were watching where the storm was hitting because one of our doggies in particular gets really scared. So we wanted to make sure we got home in time. And it turned out that we kind of drove through a little bit of it, and I think it passed our house by the time we got home here. So I didn't get, I saw the haboob. It was super dusty on one side of the highway, and then there were rainbows on the other side of the highway. So it was quite interesting to see, but luckily it wasn't too bad to drive in, because I don't like to drive. We're in Arizona. We have some pretty rough storms when we have them, and it's not fun to drive in. So luckily it wasn't a little bit windy, some debris and stuff to watch for, but nothing real crazy. Let's see, what do we got here? All sorts of comments. Bead Snoops, you got yours, awesome. Mine will be here. Robin says hers will be there tomorrow. That bead strand is way too pretty. It is, it's so super pretty. We knew that bead strand would be a big hit. It's just so gorgeous. So talking about the deal, no coupon needed. It ends tomorrow at midnight. All US orders over $50 do have the option for free shipping as well. And if you're in international, you can send us a message at info@softflexcompany.com, and we will get you some discounts to help with your shipping cost and customs fees and things like that. So just want to let those international customers know. So yeah, let's get down. I'll show you some of our new items we've got going here, since I've got them on my bead table to play with. Yeah, it seemed like East Mesa was mostly wind, maybe a little bit of rain, but not a whole lot, which was nice. Although we do need the rain. I just don't like to drive in it. We definitely need the rain. So let's talk a little bit about what's new. So we did introduce a new trio, and what a trio is a 3-pack of Softflex or Softflex branded beading wire. There's 3 10-foot spools, and this is our newest trio that we introduced to match the Unicorn Sparkles design kit. It's got our purple amethyst Softflex medium beading wire, our white quartz Softflex medium beading wire, and the sterling silver plated Extreme Flex medium beading wire. And when I say medium, it means that the diameter is all 0.019 on these 3. So really pretty pack, beautiful colors together, and it'll give you a little sample of each one to play with and try. If you got the Unicorn design kit, you would have gotten this sterling silver plated Extreme Flex wire in there to try out. So those of you that grabbed that kit, I hope this was a really nice surprise to see this in there and get a chance to play with it. And this is what I'm going to be using today on the video. So the next thing we have here is we've got that beautiful Unicorn Sparkles bead strand. And like I said, this is the freebie you would get if you spend over $55, or if you just want to buy it, it's about $10.50 on its own. Sheesh, that was very elegant beading wire. It is, which is why we're going to do some design work today where we get to expose the beading wire so that you get to really see it and allow it to shine. So the other thing I have here is the Unicorn Sparkles bead mix, and I already opened it and started playing with it. So this is so if you like smaller, daintier beads, that's what you would find in the Unicorn Sparkles bead mix. Let me get some. There's definitely some like fire polish and crystally beads in here, some pearls, these silver tassels. And then this bead comes in the bead mix also. I just pulled that one out. And then if you like bigger beads, that's what you would find in the strand. And it's gonna be fun to work with the combination. I've got some bead stoppers I'll be using today. Those just help clip on the end of your wire. And I'm gonna be using flush cutters, the Mighty Crimper, because I'm gonna have some large 3x3mm crimp tubes to finish off my design. So I'm using the Mighty Crimper. And then just a pair of chain nose and flat nose pliers in case I have some jump rings that we need to open up. For clasps, I'm just working with some lobster claw clasps. This is the 9.5 millimeter size, and I think this one is the 15 millimeter size. So I'll probably use one or the other. So I grabbed them both for now. And I'll be using these large 3x3 millimeter Softflex Company crimp tubes. I'm going to be working with 3 strands of wire. And let me just move my table a little bit here. So let's start with this one first. I started with the Unicorn Sparkles bead mix to begin this bracelet. And what I did was cut 3 strands of the Softflex Extreme, 10 inches of each. And I have a bead stopper on the one side with about 1 inch of wire left there. And then I have a bead stopper over here on this side. And I feel like I need to move my camera down just a little closer to the table. Just give me a second to move this down a little bit. I think I moved it up on the last video. There we go. So I have this little section here as my focal, and I finished off playing on this side here, so I'm gonna have you guys work with me on this side. And you've seen me do this technique before. I love this little 3-strand technique for when I want to expose the beading wire and just create a little texture with my piece. So I'm gonna take off this bead stopper. So you'll see that the pearl, the rondelle, or yeah, that's a rondelle, this fire polish bead, these are all going through all 3 wires. So I've got this as my center, and they're all strung through all 3 wires. And then what I do is I'm gonna pick up 3 of these, one of these silver sparkly beads, one of these sort of rectangular ones, and then this little fire polish, and I'm gonna string them each on one each of these wires here. And I just do this in a random pattern. And I make sure that I get a different bead on each strand, just like that. And then I use a larger bead, which I'm using these purple ones, to string all 3 strands again. So what you're doing is you're creating like a little pocket for these 3 beads, and then you're stringing 1 bead on all the strands. And then I'll do that again, using those same 3 beads, but trying to put them on different strands so they're sort of opposite one another. She says this is a very elegant beading wire. It totally is. I should tell you guys a little bit about our Extreme beading wire brand because it is different than our original Softlex. So once again, I've got one of these beads on each strand, and then I'm gonna string all three through this fire polish bead. So our Extreme beading wire is actually an eco-friendly beading wire. It is made with a metal alloy, a copper center, instead of a heavy metal. So you can recycle the wire itself. Now I've got 1 and 2 on this side, 1 and 2 on this side. So I'm just gonna add this fire polish here on all 3 again. And I think I'm done. So let me just measure that and then I'll tell you more about this wire. So we are just about 6 inches. I do like my bracelets to be between about 7. So one of the nice things about this design is you can either decide to like scoot all these beads closer together, make them a tighter mix and then add some more beads, or you can kind of loosen them up and go the other way and make it a little longer if you want to show more of the wire and let them be a little looser on your bracelet. So I just loosened them up a little bit. Let me see where I measure now. Yeah, so loosening them up, I got closer to like 6.5, just a little over 6.5, and that would be good for me to go ahead and add my clasp. So I'm gonna take out 2 of the Mighty 3x3 crimp tubes, and I think I'll go ahead with one of these larger lobster claw clasps. I just think they're a little easier on a bracelet when they're bigger. I'm going to string all 3 wires down through my crimp tube. And then when you're doing this lobster clasp, you can decide to either just do 1 wire or you can do all 3 again. Since my crimp is so big and it can easily handle 6 wires, I'm going to just go ahead with all 3. String back down through your crimp tube just like you would a smaller size crimp. Make sure that your lobster clasp has some room to wiggle. And then when I'm working with a bunch of wires, I just want to make sure before I crimp that I have them all nice and neat and together. And they're not, so that they appear as one. So now I'm going to use my Mighty Crimper, which has 2 notches, the back notch, which is called our crimper, and the front notch, which is called our rounder. We're going to set the crimp tube into the back notch first, just like that. Give it a nice light squeeze, and it's going to create a divot in our tube. And then we're going to turn it on its side 90 degrees, put it back into the rounder, and squish that down. And then I'm just going to go around a few times Yeah, it takes all 6 strands easily. I think this crimp tube can go up to something like 10 or 12 strands. What's really nice about the Mighty Crimper too, if you struggle with crimping, it's for some reason the 3x3 crimping tube is very soft and easy, and the crimper is very easy to see because the notches are so large that it is a nice way to learn if you're having a really hard time with smaller crimps. We sometimes, when we go do demos, we'll do an earring project with the Mighty Crimper, just because it is a little easier for beginners. You want to have at least 3 wires going through a Mighty Crimp tube though. So you can have 3 up to about 12. So now you're going to trim off your excess wire, and I'm going to do it one at a time. I do that for 2 reasons. So I'm just going to take my flush cutter and the flat side going right up to the crimp as close as possible. So when I'm doing one at a time, I can get a little closer than if I tried to do all of them at once. And I'm less likely to cut off my stringing wire. So now I'm just going to move my beads closer to that side, and then we can crimp on the other side. So we'll do the same thing over here. We do. Lydia is asking, do you have a chart under tips on the website that shows how many strands each tube can accommodate? Yes. So if you go to softflexcompany.com and you check out our School of Design section, you will be able to click in there and see a page called Tips and Tricks. And then on that page, we have a section called All About Crimps. And that is where you will find a chart that tells you what crimp is suggested for what diameter of wire, as well as how many strands for each diameter will fit. So you'll see like a 2x2 millimeter can fit up to 3 strands. And then a 3x3 millimeter is like 3 strands up to about 12. And then we even talk about a 1x1 millimeter, how many you can get there. So I have a little jump ring here. I just wanted to make sure it was nice and closed. And if you have one that's soldered, even better. And I'm gonna add that to this side. And you don't have to add a jump ring either. You could just use the wire as your connector, but I feel like adding a jump ring because I think I'm gonna add a tassel to the end here. Let's go on. String your crimp tube just like you did on the other side. Straighten out those wires. Put that crimp in the back notch first. Give it a good squeeze, turn it on its side. You'll see there's that nice divot. So you want that divot off to the side like a letter C. Close it. And then go around a few more times just to cinch it into the wire. And then you can trim off your excess. So yeah, so I was talking about Extreme wire. Extreme is the first eco-friendly beading wire. It is constructed with 1x19 micro braided and woven strands of metal alloy. It will not tarnish because there is a nylon coating. So this is 925 sterling silver plated, and then it has a nylon coating on top of it. So it'll stay this really nice bright silver. It won't tarnish, it won't flake. And there is our cute little bracelet, which fits me perfectly. And then I think I want to add one of these cute little tassels on the end. You're saying you know how to crimp so much better with lots of practice, Sheesh, and watching us? Yes, we do a lot of crimping. We are crimptastic. And it really does get easier with practice. It almost is like you have to have that muscle memory, you know, that just keeps trying it over and over until it becomes second nature. I'm going to use 2 pliers. I'm just going to twist open my jump ring and add this little tassel. I'm going to add it next to and the right tools. Yes, she says, and the right tools. It does make a difference. You know, there's so many crimping tools on the market. There's got to be a crimp tool for you, you know. Not every crimp tool is going to be perfect for everybody. Doesn't that tassel just add a nice little finish touch? So all the beads that I used in here were in the Unicorn Sparkles bead mix. And then I used the 3 strands of extreme beading wire. We did do a similar bracelet to this in the past, which I pulled out to show you guys. And that was with this April Showers kit way back in April. And so in this case, I used the same technique, but I used 3 different color wires. I think it was a trio. I think it was from the Tranquility Trio, I believe. So you've got 3 different blues in there. But same idea, same technique. You've got a focal bead in the middle, and then you have 3 strands that you kind of put the 3 different beads on, and then you gather them together with another bead in there. So now I'm going to do the same kind of technique, but I was going to do a necklace with the larger beads. And let's see how that goes. I don't think I've done, oh, that's not true. I have done this on a necklace before. I have. So for the necklace, I cut 3 strands of 24 inches of each strand. So I have 3 strands of the extreme. And this bead is from the Unicorn bead mix. I just thought it was really pretty as a focal bead. So I'm gonna have that be the center of my necklace. And I'm just going to put a bead stopper right here. So this is a little mini bead stopper, and this is a regular size bead stopper if you wanted to see the difference between the two. I find I really like having both on hand. Sometimes the mini is nice for just little quick stopping like that, and I tend to like the large one for the ends. So I'm going to cut this loose. I really like how this is strung, so I think I'm going to stay pretty true to how this was put together, with the difference of taking out the heart and replacing it with this bead. And that's just because I feel like the heart looks nice in a bracelet or maybe hanging down in this direction. But since my necklace is going this way, I wanted to swap that out. So these bead mixes are put together from our friends over at Jesse James Beads for us. And I'm not positive about the strand, but all of the mixes that come with the kits, like this Unicorn bead mix are all made exclusively for us at Softflex Company. So you can't get them from anywhere else but from us, and we just have a limited supply. We buy a limited supply after the kit to have that available for you guys if you wanted to buy more, or maybe you missed the kit and you really love the beads. I think I should cut this into my tray here. Less likely to have a problem. Okay, so I kept half of the strand strung just the way it was. Yeah, I would need to put the heart on a head pin, exactly, so that it would lay hanging down. I'll probably save that heart for something else. It's really pretty. So I'm going to start by stringing just similar to what we had here. And then I think I'll add some of the smaller beads from the bead mix to go in the center. To go on, I should say, to go on all the little strands. So let's see, I think I'll pick one of those. So we've got a focal. I did a couple from the large strand. Then I did a couple of these little guys again, same pattern as in the bracelet on the 3 strands. And then I'm adding this fire polish bead so that when they'll kind of go together in a nice little set. Let's see what I got here. I think the square is a little big, so I'm going to pull that square one out for now. And maybe I'll use the rondelle instead. So I'm just going with kind of what was there and adding a little bit from the smaller bead mix into although these are a little too much the same next to each other for me. I think I'm going to swap that out. take that one off. Maybe instead, I'll just go right to this one. These cage beads are so fun. They're so like, they're like a Jesse James signature, aren't they? I didn't get any pearls in yet, so let me pop a pearl in. All right. I'm not positive if all three of these will go through this bead cap, so let's see. Oh, they did. Awesome. So we'll do the bead cap, then we'll do this guy. That, oh, silly me, I put my bead cap on upside down. Pretty. And then I've got these last two. Sheesh, I'm doing a wire wrap weave on my heart. Oh, I can't wait to see that. I just love your wire work. It's so fun to see so much more wire work, just in general in the group. And you are a master, Miss Sheesh. And Gloria was getting ready to tell me about the cap. Yeah, I know. I felt, you know, it's one of those things where you just feel like something is not right. Something is off. Hi, Kathy. Welcome. Let's see how this one works. I'm not loving this one on there, actually. Let's go. What do I got left? Maybe this smaller one. I think I'm gonna end it with this fire polish and see where we're at. So this is what I've got going on here so far. And I'm at the point where I'm a little nervous. I'm running out of the same beads. So I think what I'll do is swap my bead stopper so that I can then work on this side. So you could take this all the way to your clasp and just keep stringing beads all the way to the end, or you can stop it earlier on and then just cut one wire and leave that towards the back of your clasp. So you have two options there. I tend to take the beads all the way back if I can, if I've got enough beads to work with in this particular design. But Yeah, I'm glad you made it too, Kathy. Welcome. It's nice to see some new faces in here today too, because I'm sure with the holiday, a few of you were able to join us that maybe aren't always able to get here live. So thank you for that. All right, so now I'm back up to this section here, which I had done a fire polish, a rectangle, and a silver bead. Let's see what I got left. This is where I'm gonna get myself in trouble. So I got the rectangle. I have a silver bead, but I don't see any more of that fire polish guy right there. I wonder where else I used it. So I will just use, I have a smaller one. I will do a smaller one. So if you want to be more symmetrical, you'll need to kind of count out your beads ahead of time and see which ones you have to work with. But it is kind of nice that this is such a free-floating design. I don't know that it'll be a big deal to play around with similar beads that aren't exactly the same. I think it'll be okay. So the next one I've got is a rondelle and a purple one. I haven't actually used any of these squares, so maybe I'll throw a square in there, and I can always string a square over here before I clasp it, before I finish it off. That's why I came up with the name Free Spirit Beading, right? Because I just kind of go with it, and I'm okay when things are a little different from side to side. As long as you've got what appears to be a balance back on each side, you should be good. Purple and I didn't get the Unicorn Sparkles design kit. I'm a little sad because I am in love with those daggers, those like spikes that came with it. I know that some of you have said that that was more challenging. That was like your challenge item in there. But they look like so much fun to play with. I've really been enjoying seeing all the designs made with those. Our next kit, because that kit is now totally sold out, our next kit is the Golden Gate design kit, and I think we're about 60% sold out right now. She says they were your fave. Yeah, I was surprised that a few people mentioned that was a challenge item, because I was just like, oh my gosh, those look like a lot of fun. But I guess if you're not used to using that shape of a bead, what did I do here? I got a little twisted. I think it's just a tight fit. There we go. If you're not used to using that shape of bead, it could be a little more challenging. And the Golden Gate kit, oh, if you are ready for fall colors, you are gonna absolutely love it. It's really pretty and totally different again. And I'm so happy to hear that everyone feels like, this one's totally different, because it's hard month after month to keep surprising you guys, and I'm glad that it's working so far. She says, that is what I'm working on now. 6 pieces completed. I haven't put a dent in it yet. Oh gosh, there's a lot of beads. That's great. All right. So this one, I've got that one, that one, and ooh, we made it. We made it, we made it, we made it. I think the only thing I have to switch out on this side is this last fire polish bead, because I only have one of them. So I'm gonna swap that for these purple cylinders, which I think is a nice place to put a little pop of purple anyway, because it had gotten kind of clear in there. Let's see where we measure. I'm gonna see where we are. Just put a bead stopper on each end. Although this style, the beads don't really roll off much, because there's creating such a little textured tension that they kind of stay nicely. But just in case, let me see where I'm at here. So I'm up to 13 inches. I have a few options then. I could crimp it here and let it be just as it is at the end, or I do have a bunch of these squares left. How many do I have though? Really just 2 for each side. And I do have some of these stars. I haven't used the stars yet. Let's see. I have a feeling the stars might not go in all the way though. Maybe that's a good thing. What if I put a star and then a square? Just sort of kind of capture that star. And a star and a square. That's cute on the back end. Let me do that on the other side and see where we left off on sizing. So I used 1, 2, 3 squares, and of course I have just 2 squares left. I think I'll do a square. a star, a square, a star, and I'll have to take this one off just so I have an even Steven on each side. All right, let me see where I'm measuring at now. Pop these stoppers on. There we go. So now we're at 16. I think what I will do is just crimp it here and let it just be some wire at the end. I do have one of these left. So I could do this a couple of ways. I could crimp down here and then leave wire and then crimp to my clasp here. Or I can make something just a shorter necklace. Make it kind of like a 17-inch necklace and pull it closer. Which is what I think I'll do. So I'm gonna use one of these larger lobster claw clasps once again. And just make sure my jump ring is nice and tight. Yeah, we're good. Pull it back through my crimp tube. Go ahead and slide it in the back notch. Squeeze, turn it on its side, squeeze again, and then go around a few times. And then you can cut off all of these little pieces. And these pieces are big enough that I will hold on to those. Could use them for something. And then on this side, I'll just string on my jump ring, go back through my crimp, And I'm gonna see how long it is, because you can always add a little bit of chain or some extra jump rings, a little extender, something like that on the end if you find it's a little too short for you. You can also add crimp covers to the back to cover up these crimps if you'd like on either the bracelet and the necklace. And there you go. I should see how it fits on where we're at right now. I think it'll be, oh yeah, it's actually quite nice. It's about, I think it's about 17 inches. So there's the bracelet. And then I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like on. But before I do have a couple examples of that same technique using 2 strands. I have this one here, which is the same idea. It's got this focal, and then it has these garnet slabs, these wood beads in between. And in this case, I did just crimp it here and let the wire extend towards the back. So if you wanted something longer, I did that on the garnet color bead stringing wire to match these beautiful garnet slabs. Thanks, Susie. Yeah, you remember where I made this one? I did it also in gold. I think we used or champagne. I can't remember if it was gold or champagne, but I did do one where we used gold or champagne extreme with the slabs and some CZ beads or Swarovski crystals, actually, I think. But it was the same technique, same idea. And then this one, there's a video of this one too, but it is one of my first videos I ever did. And so the quality of that one isn't quite the best, but it is still up here on our YouTube channel. And so this one is done with the dark blue lapis color and these large quartz beads that I think I picked up at a Mike sale, and little labradorite in here. So same kind of, this one just focuses on doing the beads right in the center. So I've got the crimps here, and then it goes back in the back here. And on these, because I was only using 2 strands instead of 3, I was able to use the magical crimping pliers. So let's turn you up. We'll take a look at what this necklace looks like on. Oh, I moved that's what I did the other day too. Let's see if I can move my tripod down a little bit. There we go. I'll take the earrings off. So you can see that ended up fitting really nicely to just be like at my collar. Love the pair, says Pamela. I love the necklace and bracelets. I always wanted to know how to make it. Oh, good, Karen. Perfect. I'm glad you caught the video today. And I used up almost all of those beads. I just have a few little itty bitty pieces left. Can't even see. I've got like a couple of stars, a few of these square ones, and a couple of tassels. So I can probably make a quick pair of earrings with the stars and the tassels. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for spending the holiday with me too. I was happy to jump on today and happy to catch a few of you live that maybe haven't been able to make it in the past. So that was really nice. Thanks, Pamela. All right, so what else do we got going on this week? We do have a live jewelry demonstration on Facebook on September 4th. So that would be Wednesday at 1 p.m. I'm not sure who's doing that one, so that'll be a surprise. I'm not exactly sure who's going to be popping in for that. We do have Sarah James tomorrow over at the Jessie James Facebook page doing a video, and I think that is about, I want to say, I didn't write that one down. Hold on, let me grab it for you. I'll find out what time that one is, because I put it in the group. It's listed on the VIB group. So if you guys are in there, you can see. If you ever want to know the video schedule, I do update it in the VIB group. You'd go under the announcements section, and we've got like 3 announcements in there. One of them is the schedule of all of the upcoming videos. So if you're ever curious or unsure what's coming up, you can check there. So I'm going to check there right now, actually. Okay, so tomorrow, September 3rd at 3 p.m. Pacific time, there'll be a Facebook Live on the Jessie James Beads page with Sarah James. So that's exciting. She'll be showing one of our kits over there. And then we have September 4th on Wednesday, a jewelry demonstration live at 1 p.m. Pacific time. And then September 5th on Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, we have a new Conversations in Wire video premiere with James. So that is what's going on this week. And I will see you guys here again next Monday, same time, 12 p.m. Pacific time. Thanks again for joining me on the holiday, and I look forward to seeing what you guys are creating. Go ahead and feel free to share in our VIB group over on Facebook. There's a lot of action there. It's a lot of fun to see what everyone's got on their beading table and what they're working on. If you got the Golden Gate kit, do not share those yet though. That's a mystery kit, and we want to make sure everyone gets the surprise. So we just ask that you hold off till the end of the month when we do our reveal for that kit. So that's the only one we don't want to share just yet. But if you have unicorn sparkles, share away, or if you're working on anything else that you want to share with us, please feel free. Give me a thumbs up and a like if you enjoyed today's video. That's really helps us out, and I will see you guys all next week. Thanks again. Bye. Thanks, Robin. Yeah, I've got my boys home from school. One's still asleep. He likes his sleep, so he still hasn't risen from his room, and the other one is out already and met up with some friends. So that was nice. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.